Welcome to the Leadership Series. This version is titled The Results Map. As you look at each of these quadrants, we will start in the upper right. We're going to talk about how beliefs drive feelings, which drive actions, which drive results. Let's start with beliefs. Whatever we believe is at the core of everything else that happens in this model. Beliefs actually drive how we feel. If I believe X, I will feel that way about X. My feelings are what drive my actions. I behave a certain way around people or relative to things based on how I feel about them. And how I feel about them is based on what I believe about them. My actions are what drive the results that I get. So, let's take a look at this at a whole other level. Beliefs drive feelings, and actions drive results. Therefore, I don't have to work in all four quadrants. What I have to do is work on beliefs and actions. As a leader, here's what this means. If you think you can affect someone's results by trying to focus them on results, the chances are good you've been frustrated by not getting what you wanted. Focus on the actions. But that's not good enough. If you aren't working all the way back at the beliefs level, you aren't going to get people to feel differently, which means they are not going to act differently. And if they don't act differently, the results will be the same. I've learned all I have to do is work on the beliefs first and help them then to refine the actions. Let's look at a simple example. Let's say that you have this belief, like so many leaders following the pandemic, and you have a Generation Z team member named Jan, and this is how you feel about Jan. That irritation is real for you at having to try to motivate Jan. You decide, time to have another conversation with Jan. You try your best to stifle the irritation, but Jan can sense it. The conversation feels disingenuous to Jan. And as a result, Jan just keeps doing what Jan has done, just like Jan has after every other previous conversation. All it does is confirm for you, Generation Z is lazy and unmotivated. Now, when you look at the belief in the upper right quadrant, it is what's called a limiting belief. It is limiting you from getting the results you want. The way to deal with a limiting belief is first to recognize it, being honest with yourself, and then changing it. Let's see what might happen if you changed that belief. Maybe you watched my video titled, "They Are Already Motivated," and you decide, you know what? I'm going to give this a try. You feel curious now to learn what Jan might already be motivated by. This leads to a genuine discussion where you are seeking to understand Jan's interests, which could very well lead to you finding out that Jan is motivated by challenge. As a result, You decide to put everything you want Jan to do in the context of a challenge. That's what can happen when we first identify and then change limiting beliefs. Now, this model is much more complicated. I shouldn't use the term complicated, much more involved than what I've shown you here. For example, there are over 12 different areas to work on just in the beliefs quadrant. If you'd like to talk, contact me. I'm more than happy to talk with you about this. Look forward to seeing you again soon.